Theorizing that one could time travel within his own lifetime, Dr. Sam Beckett stepped into the quantum leap accelerator and vanished. He awoke to find himself trapped in the past, facing mirror images that were not his own.
Remember when science fiction TV didn't just mean spaceships blowing up or aliens with bad prosthetics? In 1989, NBC gave us Quantum Leap, the time-traveling, body-swapping, heartstring-yanking adventure where Dr. Sam Beckett, played by Scott Bakula, kept leaping into other people's lives to set things right. For 5 seasons, Sam went from pregnant woman to prize fighter, from Elvis to Lee Harvey Oswald, and always had his cigar-chomping hologram buddy Al, played by Dean Stockwell, riding shotgun. Together, they tackled civil rights, gender politics, war, love, loss, and the occasional chimpanzee space mission. So, today we're counting down 15 weird facts about Quantum Leap, and trust me, you'll want to stick around for number 1 because it turns out the show's entire core premise was basically a polite suggestion that everyone ignored. Now, before we get started, be sure to like and subscribe. It helps YouTube show this video to more retro TV fans just like you. Now let's get into the countdown with number 15, the famous catchphrase that was totally improvised. Sometimes TV magic doesn't come from rewrites or reshoots, it just blurts out when the camera's rolling. Scott Bakula was already killing it on Broadway, Tony nomination and all, when he decided to ditch New York and try his luck in Hollywood. His theater friends thought he'd completely lost his mind, but hey, sometimes ignoring everyone's advice leads to time travel. During filming of the Quantum Leap pilot, right after Sam leaped and found himself staring in a mirror that wasn't showing his own face, Bakula muttered 2 unscripted words. Oh boy.
I'll put the coffee on, Tom.
Oh boy.
That wasn't in the script. That was pure confused Bakula brilliance. Creator Donald P. Bellisario heard it, loved it, and instantly knew he had something. That off-the-cuff reaction became Sam Beckett's signature line, eventually popping up in nearly every episode.
Oh boy.
Sometimes a show's entire identity hinges on a perfect little moment like that. No focus groups, no punch-up team, no committee of suits deciding what's relatable. Just a guy in a weird situation saying what we're all thinking. Oh boy indeed. Number 14, big names before they were big. Quantum Leap wasn't just great sci-fi, it was an accidental crystal ball for spotting future stars. 2 years before she became the Rachel Green, Jennifer Aniston appeared in the season 5 episode Nowhere to Run as a sweet volunteer helping wounded Vietnam vets. A far cry from Central Perk, and with hair that had no idea it would soon inspire a cultural phenomenon.
He's coming home. He's really coming home. He's really coming home.
Yeah.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt turned up in 1991 as a kid caught in one of Sam's more emotional leaps. He was already working steadily as a child actor, but this was years before Third Rock from the Sun would make him a household name, and decades before he'd go on to become Hollywood's go-to guy for playing sensitive weirdos and quirky indies. Then there's the class of 1989. Jason Priestley dropped by just months before Beverly Hills 90210 made him the king of teenage brooding and industrial strength hair gel. Terry Hatcher also guest starred that year, long before she'd become the Man of Steel's love interest on Lois and Clark, or stir up suburban drama as Susan Meyer on Desperate Housewives.
Mom, why would someone kill themselves?
Well, sometimes people are so unhappy they think that's the only way they can solve their problems.
And Patricia Richardson appeared right before landing Home Improvement, where she'd spend 8 seasons preventing Tim Taylor from accidentally demolishing suburbia. Turns out, when you're bouncing through decades, you're bound to catch a few future stars on their way up. Number 13, Dennis Hopper told him not to do it. When Dean Stockwell signed on to Quantum Leap, Hollywood did a collective double take. This guy had been in everything, from Dune to Married to the Mob to Beverly Hills Cop 2. He wasn't some up-and-comer looking for a break. He was a legit film veteran with 4 decades of credits. So, when Stockwell agreed to join a time-traveling sci-fi show where he'd play a cigar-chomping fashion disaster hologram named Al, let's just say not everyone thought it was a great move.
She's having hallucinations, Sam. That's usually accompanied by parent.
Edie? Edie, there's nobody here but us.
No, I heard him talking to you. You were talking about me.
You, Edie.
Dennis Hopper reportedly told him the role would be a shot in the foot, and to be fair, the premise did sound a little out there. Time travel, body swapping, Swiss cheese brain, not exactly Oscar bait, but Stockwell saw it differently.
You're part of a time travel experiment that went a little caca.
He was quoted as saying, "My idea going into Quantum Leap was to get stranded in it for 5 or 6 years. Why not? I've done something like 60 films. I don't have anything to prove in that area." End quote. Spoken like a man who'd already been to the top and decided it was time to have fun on the way down. And that turned out to be exactly the right move. Stockwell crushed it as Rear Admiral Albert Calavici, turning what could have been a goofy sidekick character into one of TV's most beloved and best-dressed sci-fi icons. He even snagged multiple Emmy nominations and a Golden Globe win, so no disrespect to Dennis Hopper, but if taking the part was a shot in the foot, it hit the bullseye. Number 12, Al's cigar habit was a total hustle.
You're between funds.
Between funds?
Rear Admiral Albert Al Calavici had a lot of signature traits: wild jackets, holographic swagger, and, of course, the ever-present cigar. But that cigar wasn't just a character choice, it was a hustle. When Dean Stockwell first signed on to play Al, he pitched the idea that the character should always be smoking a cigar whenever he appeared to Sam.
Tu casa o mi casa?
My place or yours? Al.
On the surface, it was brilliant character work, giving the hologram a tangible habit that made him feel more real and lived in. But years later, Stockwell came clean about the real motivation. He just wanted free cigars, and premium ones at that, on the studio's dime for as long as the show ran. And it worked beautifully. For 5 seasons straight, Stockwell got top-shelf cigars delivered courtesy of NBC's budget, all while creating one of the most iconic character details in sci-fi history. Now, that's how you turn method acting into a 5-year smoking budget. Number 11, the Chimp episode was a hit with animal rights activists. Leave it to Quantum Leap to take man leaps into chimpanzee and somehow turn it into a serious conversation about animal rights. In Season 4's The Wrong Stuff, Sam found himself inside the body of Bobo, a lab chimp about to be launched into space.
Abort the mission! Abort the mission!
On paper, it sounded like the kind of ridiculous premise that would sink a show, but writer Paul Brown had other plans. Here's where it got impressive. Brown didn't just wing it. He reached out to Jane Goodall, yeah, that Jane Goodall, for consolation on how lab animals were actually treated. And Goodall didn't just offer advice and disappear. She was so moved by the concept that she kept sending Brown research articles about animal testing, essentially turning herself into the episode's unofficial science advisor.
One of these chimps gonna go to the moon.
Not if I can help it.
Don't know about the moon, but one of these guys is definitely going into space. Or girls. Sorry, Corey.
When Jane Goodall becomes your personal fact-checker, you know you're doing something right. The result was an episode that managed to be both educational and heartfelt without turning into a lecture. Animal rights groups praised it for raising awareness about laboratory conditions, while the scientific community didn't dismiss it as anti-research propaganda. Meanwhile, viewers got to watch Scott Bakula earnestly portray a chimpanzee for an hour and somehow took it completely seriously. It might have been the only time in television history that a man and a monkey body storyline sparked genuine conversations about laboratory ethics. And in an era when most sci-fi shows stuck to aliens and time travel, that kind of bold social commentary was exactly the weird, wonderful risk that made Quantum Leap special. Number 10, Donald Bellisario recreated his dad's bar for the show's final episode. When a showrunner gets sentimental about a series finale, you usually get some heartfelt speeches and maybe a group hug. When Donald Bellisario got sentimental, he literally rebuilt his childhood. The bar, where Sam has his final conversations in mirror image, wasn't just another soundstage saloon.
No. No. No way. No way will I buy that.
It was a painstaking recreation of Bellisario's father's bar from a Pennsylvania coal town in 1953. We're talking serious attention to detail. Original beer taps, the same ice cream cooler, an identical back bar setup, all rebuilt from old family photographs and Bellisario's own memories.
My dad created me, and so I made it in my dad's bar. And when I say that was my dad's bar, that was my dad's bar. We recreated that bar to every detail that I could remember or find in photographs.
And since Bellisario's dad's name was Albert, the mysterious bartender in the episode, also named Al, was essentially his father brought back to life. That's either the Swedish tribute in TV history or the most elaborate therapy session ever filmed. What made it even more powerful was that the bar was filled with actors who had played people Sam helped over the years, now appearing as new characters enjoying drinks together. It wasn't just a bar, it was a spiritual crossroads where past and present collided, a perfect metaphor for Sam's entire journey. Here's the kicker. Bellisario didn't even know this would be the final episode when he built that deeply personal set. He was expecting season 6, so what was meant to be a powerful turning point became an accidental farewell. When Sam chose to leap one last time instead of going home, it wasn't just the character coming full circle, it was the creator saying goodbye to his own father and to the show that had become his life's work. Number 9. How angry letters saved the show, temporarily. Long before hashtags and trending topics, Quantum Leap fans proved that sometimes the old ways work best if you're willing to get writer's cramp for your cause. When cancellation rumors started swirling at the end of season 3, a devoted group of fans known as the Leapers did what any self-respecting 90s fanbase would do. They grabbed their pens and went to war. We're talking thousands of handwritten letters flooding NBC's mailroom, each one a heartfelt plea to keep Sam and Al leaping through time.
Time that his next leap will be the leap home.
This wasn't some digital petition you could sign in 30 seconds. These fans had to sit down, think about what they wanted to say, write it out by hand, find an envelope, buy a stamp, and actually mail the dang thing. That level of commitment meant something. Scott Bakula was genuinely moved by the effort, and more importantly, NBC noticed. The letter writing campaign helped secure the show 2 more seasons, proving that in the pre-internet age, passion plus postage could still move mountains, or at least network execs. Sure, Quantum Leap eventually got canceled anyway after season 5, but those letters bought Sam Beckett 2 more years of leaping, and in an era when fan campaigns involved actual physical effort instead of just retweeting, that grassroots victory felt like something special. Because sometimes the most powerful weapon against network suits isn't a viral hashtag, it's a mailroom so full of fan mail that someone actually has to pay attention. Number 8. Quantum Leap was almost a Galactica spinoff, sorta. Okay, so here's a weird one. Quantum Leap was never officially a spin-off of Battlestar Galactica, but there's a sci-fi butterfly effect at play here. Back in the late 70s, Galactica got the axe after just 1 season, leaving fans heartbroken and network executives scrambling to squeeze more juice from the franchise. One of the writers caught in that wreckage was Donald P. Bellisario. Ring a bell? He and Galactica creator Glenn A. Larson eventually did make Galactica 1980, a spectacularly bad spin-off where the colonial fleet finally reaches Earth. The show initially dabbled with time travel, featuring Commander Xavier trying to alter history while Troy and Dylan raced to fix his mess. But the network got cold feet about the time travel angle and demanded they drop it, turning the show into something about babysitting colonial kids on Earth instead. 10 episodes later, Galactica 1980 was mercifully put out of its misery. But Bellisario remembered that time travel concept, the part that actually worked, and tucked it away for later.
One of the things I was developing was a time travel show. And the reason I was developing a time travel show was that, I always wanted to make an anthology.
Cut to a decade later, and Quantum Leap hits the airwaves with Scott Bakula as Dr. Sam Beckett. Same core concept of time travel and historical course correction, but stripped of all that clunky space opera baggage. No chrome toasters trying to kill you, no disco-era special effects, just one guy leaping through time with Dean Stockwell's cigar-chomping hologram Al as his guide. Bellisario had taken his abandoned Galactica idea, ditched the spaceships, and turned it into something that actually worked. Now, if you're loving these Quantum Leap facts, hit that like button and subscribe for more retro TV deep dives. Trust me, we've got plenty more "wait, that really happened" moments coming your way. So let's get back to the countdown now with number 7, Sam Beckett could sing. Like, really sing. Now, if you thought Dr. Sam Beckett only leaped into danger, trauma, and moral dilemmas, well, he also leaped into musical theater constantly. Scott Bakula wasn't just playing a brainy physicist. He was a legit Broadway talent with a Tony nomination for the 1988 musical Romance.
The last of our 4 nominated musicals is actually 2 shows in one, a pair of very intimate one-act chamber pieces played out as a game of romance through the ages. Scott Bakula and Alison Fraser portray 2 sets of lovers.
And stage credits that included Marilyn and American Fable, 3 Guys Naked from the Waist Down, Man of La Mancha, and The Connector. So, naturally, Quantum Leap decided to milk that talent for all it was worth. Bakula did all of his own singing on the show, which was practically unheard of in an era when most actors got the dubbing treatment. Whether he was belting out show tunes in Catch a Falling Star, crooning like a Vegas lounge act in Piano Man, or playing a blind concert pianist in Blind Faith, an episode that also showcased his real-life piano skills. One of the most emotional moments came in The Leap Home, where Sam, back in 1969, sat down at a piano and sang John Lennon's Imagine.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
The problem was that the song hadn't been written yet, so yeah, in the Quantum Leap universe, Sam kind of invented it first. Bakula also plays guitar, and his musical talents followed him beyond Quantum Leap. On NCIS New Orleans, his character would regularly sit down at a piano and play because when you've got Scott Bakula in the cast, why wouldn't you let him show off? Turns out the only thing more impressive than leaping through time is doing it while staying in perfect pitch. Number 6, Sam almost leapt into a mustached legend. Throughout 5 seasons, Dr. Sam Beckett leapt into pilots, boxers, beauty queens, chimpanzees, and once even Lee Harvey Oswald, because apparently no historical figure was too controversial for quantum physics. But here's the leap that almost happened but didn't. At one point, Quantum Leap creator Donald P. Bellisario, who also happened to create Magnum P.I., pitched an idea where Sam would leap into none other than Thomas Magnum himself. Yeah, that Magnum, mustache and all. The idea would have brought Bellisario's most iconic character back to life, with Magnum having ended its run but still dominating in syndication. NBC actually took the pitch seriously enough to explore bringing back the character, though since Sam would leap into Magnum's body, any involvement from Tom Selleck would have been for permission to use his likeness or possibly a cameo appearance. But somewhere between the pitch meeting and production, the whole thing got tangled up in what we can only assume was a web of network politics and legal nightmares. And honestly, we're still mourning that missed opportunity, because Sam Beckett solving crimes in 1980s Hawaii while trying not to crash a Ferrari, that's not just television, that's art, people. Number 5, the reboot quietly brought back a classic leap. Most reboots drop Easter eggs like breadcrumbs for diehard fans. This one planted a character who literally lived through the original series. In NBC's Quantum Leap reboot, which aired from 2022 to 2024, Ernie Hudson plays Herbert Magic Williams, a former Navy SEAL turned head of the Quantum Leap project. And if that name sounds familiar to original series fans, there's a good reason. Magic was the same soldier Sam leaped into during the Leap Home Part 2 Vietnam, Season 3, Episode 2, where Sam desperately tried to save his brother Tom from dying in combat. Magic, originally played by Christopher Kirby, was Tom's commanding officer, but that leap carried even more emotional weight. While Sam was focused on saving Tom, he also encountered a young Al being held as a prisoner of war, witnessing the moment that would shape his future best friend's entire life.
I traded a life for a life. You are one weird dude, Magic.
Now, here's where it gets interesting. In the reboot, we learned that Magic remembered something was different about that mission. He blacked out during the leap itself, but over the years, he pieced together that something impossible had happened and eventually sought out the Quantum Leap program to understand what he'd experienced.
What's the name of the file you need me to steal?
Operation Bluegrass.
So the guy running the whole operation isn't just some new character created for the reboot. He's a living callback to one of the original series' most emotional episodes and proof that the writers actually cared about continuity instead of just slapping the Quantum Leap name on something generic. Plus, Ernie Hudson still looks like he could win a bar fight with time itself, so there's that. Number 4, Al didn't always see Sam until he did. Ever wondered what Al actually saw when he looked at Sam? Well, the show couldn't quite decide. According to early episodes, Al saw whoever Sam had leaped into, not Sam himself. That created some genuinely uncomfortable moments. In What Price Gloria, Sam leaped into a stunning secretary played by Samantha Stormer, and Al spent most of the episode openly flirting with her.
How's the girl of my dreams?
You know, it's degrading.
He was clearly not seeing Scott Bakula awkwardly navigating heels and a pencil skirt, he was seeing the bombshell Sam had replaced. The show hand-waved this with vague explanations about Al sensing Sam's presence through their connection, but never really committed to how that worked. Meanwhile, viewers had to watch Dean Stockwell hit on his best friend without realizing it. Then, somewhere around season 5, the writers apparently decided this whole setup was more trouble than it was worth. Suddenly, Al could see Sam as Sam, regardless of whose body he leaped into.
Yeah, I think so. And I got some of your libido, right?
Yeah, and you still behaved like a prude.
Well, what else I was supposed to do? I was a hologram.
No more awkward flirtations, no more confused double takes, just clear recognition every time. Was this a deliberate story choice or a quick continuity fix? The show never acknowledged the change, but fans had a theory. After enough episodes of Al accidentally complimenting Sam's legs while he was stuck in women's clothing, someone in the writer's room decided to just stop doing that. Smart move, because once you'd written yourself into having a character unknowingly hit on his time-traveling best friend, the only real solution was to pretend it never happened and hope nobody noticed. Number 3, yes, Al cast a shadow, and no, it didn't make sense. So, if Al was a hologram, why did he cast a shadow? Well, the simple answer is because Dean Stockwell wasn't actually a hologram and the show had to work within the laws of real physics, even when the story didn't.
Al.
Yeah.
Tell me where to put the ball.
Oh, the beam, sorry. There you go, put it there. Now hit it smooth, but hit it hard. We want to make a couple of balls on the break.
Fans came up with creative explanations. Maybe Al's holographic form included simulated light refraction, or Ziggy was projecting him so realistically that shadows were part of the package.
I haven't finished the computation yet. Second. Well, according to Ziggy, there's a 72% chance you're here to cure the pig.
These theories actually made decent scientific sense, but the truth was much more practical. Dean Stockwell was an incredibly animated actor who gestured constantly and moved around scenes with real energy. Trying to digitally remove every shadow he cast would have been a post-production nightmare in the early 90s, and the end result would have made Al look like a paper cutout awkwardly floating through scenes.
He thinks I'm trying to communicate to you in a code. What hieroglyphics? How can I write Colonel Wojohoets in hieroglyphics?
The same logic applied to reflections. Sometimes you'd catch Al mirrored in windows or see light bouncing off those infamous metallic jackets. Technically, holograms shouldn't do that, but when your character's wardrobe included more sequins than a Vegas showroom, perfect scientific accuracy took a backseat to practical filmmaking. It was the kind of continuity issue that most shows would either spend a fortune trying to fix or write around entirely. Quantum Leap just owned it, trusting that viewers cared more about Al's personality than his photon behavior. And honestly, when you're already asking audiences to buy time travel and Swiss cheese memory, a hologram with a shadow isn't the biggest quantum leap of faith you're making. See what I did there? Number 2, Sam's final leap deserved better. Over 5 seasons, fans stuck around not just for the story of the week, but to find out if Sam would ever leap home. And then, things got messy. The season 5 finale was never meant to end the series. Bellisario wrote it assuming there'd be a season 6, and NBC never told him otherwise. If things had gone to plan, the episode would have ended with Al's photo leaping into a new one, him, Beth, and their 4 grown daughters, a teaser for the next chapter. Instead, we got something different. In the episode Mirror Image, Sam leaps into himself in 1953 at a Pennsylvania coal miner's bar. There, he meets people who resemble characters from past leaps but with different names, and the bartender, also named Al. Yeah, it gets weird. Through these strange encounters, Sam starts to question his journey, why he's leaping, and whether someone or something is guiding him. Eventually, he learns he's been in control the whole time. Given the choice, he leaps back to 1969 to tell Beth that Al is alive, rewriting his friend's future and giving him the happy ending he never got. And then, a black screen, a title card, the gut punch. And yes, they misspelled Beckett. The original broadcast got it right, but syndication dropped the second T. The disrespect! Bellisario later revealed he had a more emotional ending in mind, one where Sam and Al share a proper goodbye in a bar outside of time. But NBC rushed post-production and slapped on that text without telling him. Looking back, that final message wasn't so much a cliffhanger as it was a cosmic shrug.
Al's alive. And he's coming home.
Still, there was something poetic in Sam's decision. The mysterious bartender, played perfectly by Bruce McGill, told him he could go home anytime. But Sam chose to keep helping people instead. He put others before himself. Again. Number 1, Sam was supposed to stay in his lifetime until he didn't. One of Quantum Leap's original rules was simple. Sam could only leap within his own lifetime. No medieval castles, no ancient Rome, just 20th century drama and a whole lot of shoulder pads. The show even offered a semi-scientific explanation. Sam's life was like a piece of string, birth on one end and death on another. Ball it all up and every moment in his life touched each other. That was where he could leap, anywhere on his own string. But like most Quantum Leap rules, this one eventually unraveled. In Season 5's Leap Between the States, Sam landed smack dab in the middle of the Civil War, as in 1862. That was nearly 100 years before he was born, so how did the show explain that one?
But Sam,
What?
you're here. You're in Virginia, and it's September 20th, 1862.
There was a man, a kid really, and he called me Captain Beckett.
Well, the episode introduced a new theory. Sam had leaped into his great-grandfather, Captain John Beckett. The genetic connection supposedly allowed Ziggy to override the usual timeline restrictions because when your show ran on Technobabble, a little DNA magic went a long way. The show pushed this even further when Sam leaped into Al, his hologram BFF during a thunderstorm. Thanks to a Simo leap, they eventually swapped places, landing Sam in 1945, 2 years before his own birth. The explanation involved something about subatomic matter exchange, basically the writers throwing quantum physics terms at the wall and hoping something stuck. So yeah, technically Sam was supposed to stay within his own lifetime, but if saving Martin Luther King Jr.'s great-grandfather during the Civil War meant fudging a few rules, fans were more than fine with that. And there you have it, 15 weird facts about Quantum Leap. Which fact blew your mind the most? Did we miss any behind-the-scenes secrets that still keep you up at night? Let us know in the comment section below because we love hearing from our viewers. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more retro TV deep dives. Until next time, this is Remember When.